What's up, Sitters? This is Bradford Douglas along with Joey Edge.
Sitters, what's good?
And Chris Martinez.
What's happening, man?
And we are Front Porch Sitting. And, guys, it is National Signing Day.
Early
National
ESD,
Signing Day.
yes.
But that's almost like the real thing now, so.
I would agree with that. I'll buy that.
It's more prevalent with the commits and the signees than National Signing Day now.
Prevalent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prepared is what we call that in the industry, boys.
Oh boy, prevalent.
Prepared.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. And it makes me feel better to get them on campus and know what I'm working with. So it's always a fun day to do
Is that
this.
right, Coach Douglas?
Yes. Yes, it is, Coach
He
Martinez.
said get them on campus and know what I'm working with.
Yes.
We're also going to go over Florida's bowl game. We're going to preview Florida State's bowl game that's coming up on Thursday. With FIFA World Cup. That was exciting. I don't know if y'all watched any of it, but I did.
Yep.
And we're going to talk a little more NIL because that is what drives this whole day pretty much. But before we get to any of that, we're going to go ahead and talk about JW Weaponry. They are the premier gun store in the South, and they are always loaded. Go see those guys. John has a lot of time on his hands. Just kidding. He's hunting like y'all should be.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. You want to give him the number?
Yes, Joseph, give him the number, please.
Thank you, Brad. That's where you tossed me the softball and I hit it out of the park.
I was about to, Chris.
Okay, well, you delayed for 12 seconds. 386-243-8587 is the number to JW Weaponry. That's 386-243-8587.
Shout out the chat. If you're in here right now, tell a buddy. That'd be cool. Brad's birthday was yesterday.
Brad's birthday was yesterday.
He is 44.
That's true.
Look at that.
Nope.
No, wrong one. There
Boom.
it is.
Look at it. Yep, looks 44. Every bit of 44. That's Bradford right there.
Smile through the pain.
I think you look like a leprechaun a little bit here,
Smile
too.
through the pain.
Yeah, I don't know how to get it back to just us, so I'm going to let Tyler do that. He was up and about, so my fault. There we go.
34, but thanks, guys. I
Happy
appreciate
birthday,
it.
Brad. Happy
Thank you.
birthday,
Thank you
man.
so
Remember,
much.
hey, you remember in the text message we said we are going to have a graphic for that?
Yeah, I did ask for that.
Yeah, it wasn't in the show notes, I guess, but it was
okay.
in the text thread.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And there's Joey's son hopping in here, calling my flag disgusting.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to anything. Open doors slowly should also mean quietly, but he's actually...
So was that disgusting was about the flag?
Yes.
That's okay, man.
All right,
We'll convert you.
that's not happening.
Give my man a scholarship. Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah,
There's
offer the scholarship, and we'll talk all kinds of Florida State football.
there's places that'll do that.
We need to be a part of that.
Well,
Need to find that out.
speaking of places that'll do that, a lot of signing got done today, Joey. But off air, I asked you what you thought of today, and you said it was just kind of meh. It wasn't too exciting, but it wasn't too boring either. You got your class put together, and it was a pretty good one. Top 10, right?
12. Top 12.
Yeah.
Not the worst, not the best. It was. I said in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, the only Facebook group I'm in. I lied. It's not one of. It's the only one. Kind of a ho hum day. Kind of easy come, easy go. Not much to it. All 21 guys that were committed. It was 22. One flipped, but everybody knew that was happening. Isaiah Nixon was a done deal. We all knew that. So yeah, 21 of 21. No flips from either way, good or bad. So.
Sometimes that's kind of good. Like it's expected. It goes as expected, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to toss this up to you here, Tyler. Hey, make sure you guys like this right now. Okay, go ahead and subscribe because we're getting close. We're getting close to the number we want. And
We'll
then
have. I guarantee you, Chris, we'll have it by the first of the year.
a guarantee.
Guaranteed.
Guarantees.
Guaranteed.
I think we're like 10 away.
After next week, I guarantee we'll be over the hump.
Let's go. I'm here for that. I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell a friend. It's fun. It's fun. You know that.
This
Y'all
guy
are here.
getting back in the graphic game right here.
Yeah. We'll do that a little longer. I like that one. That's like one of my favorite ones you have.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's cool.
gonna
That's
put my
cool.
glasses on so I can
It makes
actually
me
see
feel official there. If you're in the podcast world, we still do have mad love for you. Merry Christmas to you and all of our chatters. But the place to be is the live stream. It's cool. You get to see all the graphics. Do we want to talk like some FIFA, Brad? Do you want to go like the World Cup first?
Let's go World Cup first. Yeah.
Oh, man. The FIFA was really, really great. Y'all know I'm bad about that. I call baseball the baseball, FIFA the FIFA. But FIFA was really great. Probably the most exciting World Cup I've ever watched.
Is it also coincidentally the only World Cup you've ever watched?
Actually, my brown bear is a huge soccer fan, so I've watched FIFA before.
Can you not refer to anyone as Brown Bear anymore?
Well, I can't say
do it.
his name at this point
That's true.
because he's like a spy. And Not the only reason.
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Just kidding. He's not a spy. But
Dude, Big Brother is watching somewhere, and this isn't good.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead. Get to the FIFA.
But the FIFA was great. The other team,
Argentina.
I don't know why I blanked on that. Argentina went up to a
The
2-0
winners.
Yeah, they went up to an early 2-0 lead. It did not look good for France. France stormed back in the second half, tied it up. They both scored in overtime, and it went to penalties. I believe they said that was. Someone told me that was the third time, but I also heard on the radio that was the first time it had ever happened.
It is not the first time. I'm positive of that.
Okay.
First time since '88, I think.
Okay, and that might have been what I heard. Third time ever, first time since '88. But it was really exciting. I was actually talking to your uncle, Chris, during it. We were texting, and we were both like, man, when this went to penalties, that was not good for France. Argentina had definitely had the advantage there. But it was a really fun game. Joe, did you watch?
I did watch. Did you know that it was not good for France, or did you just?
I
assume?
knew that wasn't good for France. Argentina.
So you knew that Argentina had the best PKers of all time.
Well, they had Messi. I knew he was going to get his. France had the one dude who's really, really good.
Mbappe.
Yeah, that.
No, you should have let it keep going with that one.
No.
That one was going to be good, Chris.
Yes, sir. He was struggling mightily already. Hard.
Precisely.
Brad has talked a whole lot in his first 5 minutes. He's done a very, very good job, though.
Yeah,
And
very good.
Mbappe. That's
Mbappe.
fun.
Good job. Best player in the world.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
One of.
Hard not to call Messi the best player in the world.
One of.
Yes, one of.
Messi's on the outside. Like he's on the backside.
Back end, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an incredible game. I think, anytime you get to watch, I was trying to explain, this is, no offense. There's people that don't understand the significance of the World Cup, hate soccer or whatever, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So
your prerogative.
my wife is one of them. She
Right.
doesn't care a bit about soccer.
Okay.
But for people everywhere else outside of the United States, it is the biggest event by a landslide. It's huge. So for that game to be that incredible on that stage with all the star power and all eyes on them, I thought it was incredible. It was one of the better sporting events I've ever watched.
Prisoner of the moment, of course, but yeah, it was definitely top 5 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It was incredible. It was electric. First of all, just the the overall game, the gameplay, the pace of the game. I thought the pace was excellent. I thought the crispness of each pass. There was just very few mistakes made on either end.
Especially for Argentina early.
Right. Oh,
Golly.
man.
I don't know anything about soccer, but I do know that what their plan was to stretch that left side of France's defense.
Yeah.
Was that Di Maria?
Yeah.
He's a little bit older, got the start or whatever. He absolutely, but they were forcing him, the ball to him down that wing. And it was France had no answer for it.
Yeah.
And it's almost equivalent of in basketball. If you have a weak defender, you just isolate them. Let's go. Pick and roll, get your switch, and then go one-on-one.
Right.
And that's what they did the entire first half.
100%, and it worked.
And it worked, yeah.
Right.
And I don't think France was very sharp early. I don't know. I was pulling for France. My dad and uncle are from France. So that was it was still a really good game. They came back and competed, but like Brad said, when it went to PKs, you knew. I don't know enough about PKs, but I knew that the announcers told me that it does not benefit France for it to go to PKs.
Same. That's the only reason I knew that it benefited.
And then once it got there,
Argentina.
it was just poof, everything was so pure.
Right.
You could just tell they were so confident to go strike the ball. It was
and they'd already been there because they had to beat Netherlands,
The Netherlands.
and
And
PK
PK.
shootout too.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
little advantage there as well.
Look at Tyler coming in with the fire.
World Cup is dope. I love the World Cup. Every 4 years, it's really cool. I wish we were a little bit better, but I can still root
But
for.
we're getting there.
Yeah. They have.
We are getting there. It was
They
a,
need
it
to
was
be a little
better
more-
performance from the USA this year.
They need to be a little more proud, though.
Yeah. But
Is that one thing that is disheartening? Well, I don't want to get too deep on this, okay? But
I think, yeah.
I don't care. I don't
No,
care. We'll
yeah.
go there.
No, I'm good with it.
You watch the other countries and the amount of pride that they have in their national anthem and in their country and with their fans. It's not really matched in the United States. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like that across all sports anymore.
In our continent,
Right.
yeah.
Across like the international games of
Yeah.
all the sports.
I agree.
I don't think it's
Suck-
it doesn't carry the same weight that it used to.
Sucks a little bit, you know.
It
You
does.
watch the prime minister, which is the equivalent of the president, go up and where is it, president? I don't know. Their leader. he goes up and is like consoling Mbappe after the game. Like that's the level of like nationalism that it has in those countries. And then Argentina, how they were with their country and their, I mean, it was nuts. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
I agree. I wish it was different for us, like it used to be. It used to be a little bit different than that.
Yeah, I'll say two things. Number one, Tristan Pulisic can play. That dude is good. Like he's
Look at
good,
this guy.
good. Number two, did y'all see that graphic ESPN put up? They took it down very quickly because it was stupid. But it had like LeBron James, Durant, and like football players. Like, what if we sent this team? And I was like, well, they get killed because they're not soccer players. But they're trying to say like, what if we sent our best athletes? Was the message?
We do our best soccer players.
Yeah, our best soccer players. But they're
But,
saying like,
but if our best soccer player, like if our best athletes played soccer from the time they were born,
I
is the
see.
point.
I see.
That's what
Like
they're
other
trying to
countries,
say.
like other countries, they don't play basketball and football like that. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That's
but
what they're trying to
not-
say, but it was just a really funny graphic because it had like Durant, LeBron, Judge, like all those guys, and it was like, well, they'd get killed because they don't play soccer. But like, I get what they're trying to say. It was just really funny to
You
me.
want to read that? That's a good comment.
So, yeah, I'll read both of them. Clayton Steinrich said, I think that it's the fault of the public as much of the players, though. American public just doesn't care about the U.S. men's national team, which is unfortunately partially true, except every 4 years. Eric Brooks said, until there is as much interest in soccer as there is in football and basketball, we won't match other countries. I think that's a valid point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yep.
It also hurts that we're not very good. It just does.
No, we're not great. But like I said, I felt like this team was a little better. This team was very young for the U.S. This was the youngest team the U.S. has had in like ever, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It was the youngest one we've ever sent.
Right. And so, like, going forward, I do think that as they grow and, I don't know that they can ever get to that level. You know what I mean?
I just feel like if we're going to compare like apples to apples to like the women's national team, there's a lot more enthusiasm towards them because they win.
Yeah, no, there is. I'm with that. I agree with that, but
Just part of it.
I don't know. Even there, the patriotism, as far as like the
they
love
have
for
none.
the country,
They have none. Zero.
is non-existent.
It's negative.
I just gonna name drop here. I've actually been to a women's World Cup. It's
we-
pretty fire. There's a lot of national pride there.
Was
For
it?
you as
How
a
long-
fan.
It was truly there.
How long ago?
For you as a fan, though, but what about them as a player?
What do you mean them as a player?
Them as the player. Like, do they love their country like the fans love them?
Oh, I'm not going to answer that question.
Well,
because
you know
I'm
Megan
way too
Rapinoe
smart to
don't.
answer that question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm way too smart. The fans were nuts.
4 or 8 years ago, or well, I guess it would be 2 or 6 years ago.
It was
It was 6 years ago, right?
16, 14,
Right, 6 years
14.
ago. No, it was either 2 or 6 years ago because it's every they rotate.
It was around 14.
So
15,
so it was 6 years ago for you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it was before all that.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, of course it was.
Faux show.
Anyways.
Moving on.
We're moving on.
Is Messi the greatest soccer player of all time? That's tough.
I'm just going to say yes, but I'm going to preface this by saying I also don't watch a lot of soccer. So just from like the small body of work I've seen him put together and reading what I've read, I will say yes, but there's probably a really great argument against that.
I mean, to this day, whenever you kick something, you say "nice kick, Pele."
Pele, yeah.
So you know what I mean. So I'm still gonna go with Pele, even though I didn't see Pele play a whole lot. I've just heard the stories and I've seen some of the highlights or whatever. I'll go Pele for now.
Yeah, I just tried to look it up, like who else it would be. It's Pele and Messi and Ronaldo and not Ronaldo, Neymar. Not Neymar. What's the guy from Brazil? Ronaldinho? He was really good, but he's not greatest of all time. He was just good in that era.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna say I'll say the field. Messi or the field? I'll take the field. Yeah.
That's an easy, safe way out. I like
Yeah.
that. Anything else? Anything
No,
World Cup?
I just think the World Cup's cool. It's like the equivalent of Olympics for one sport.
All right, well, y'all want to go to National Signing Day next, or we're going to review the Florida Bowl game?
Florida.
Florida Bowl game.
Yeah, let's go to Florida.
Okay, Joey, other than a million players opting out, what went wrong?
They played the game.
Okay.
Listen, I don't want to talk bad about players. I don't want to do that. So it's going to be hard for me not to have this segment and not talk bad about players.
You just keep it a buck, man. The sitters are here. It's close to Christmas time. We just needed a 100.
know,
I want a 100
okay.
from Joey. I keep it real with us.
Okay, if you didn't know beforehand that Jack Miller was awful at playing quarterback, that's on you. Jack Miller was never good. He was never going to be the answer. He was bad at Ohio State, which is the reason he left Ohio State.
Feel like we said that.
We
Remember
did
in
say
the
that.
very, very beginning of the year, I was like, I watched both of them, and Miller ain't it.
I said it also at the beginning of the year. I
Yeah,
watched
we
all
watched
3 of them,
practice.
all 4 of them.
Yeah,
Miller was the worst of all 4. That includes the walk-on.
yeah.
Like
He
he
was
just
not
doesn't
good.
Like he has the ability to throw the ball this way. He can do that, but timing and all that, like he just doesn't have that it factor either. Like he's not that guy. So
We'll get to the field goal, pops. My dad's in the comments throwing shade, and I'm here for it.
yeah. So that's the first part of it is just not very good.
Yeah.
I think the lack of interest, the timing was awful. Like all of that played a terrible role. All that played a terrible role into a game against Oregon State, who wasn't bad.
Yeah,
We're not going to call Oregon State a bad football team. They were 9-3 in the Pac-12. Probably shouldn't have been playing Florida on December 17th. They probably got screwed a little bit in that deal.
probably.
They probably should be playing Florida State, and Florida probably should have been playing Oklahoma. That's not the way it went down, so that's okay. But yeah, I think that's the biggest things. Obviously, Ventrell not being there, but you have to have guys step up in those scenarios, and nobody really stepped up for Florida in those scenarios. Receivers being out, not great. Somebody has to step up. You're the University of Florida. You have to have depth, and I think you saw that. There's no depth, and that's the biggest issue right now at the University of Florida is the depth is terrible.
I thought on defense for the most part they had their starters minus Miller, which is a big one.
Right, minus Miller.
But I mean that's a big one. I'm not going to discount that. But
Yeah, no, everybody else played.
Dexter and the big guy and the ends and the DBs, they all played.
Yep.
I mean, Wingo's played a lot this year too.
And he didn't play bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's too much. It's too much. 33 points against I don't know. It's just. I was discouraged with how they played, like physically, emotionally.
That was the first time all year that they didn't play with any kind of fire or heart.
Yeah,
Like they didn't play hard. You could tell they didn't play hard.
they didn't play hard.
That was that was the first time. Like so, every other game this year, Florida State, they kind of go down. Well, they go down in the fourth quarter. They fought back.
Yeah.
Georgia, they fight.
Tennessee,
they fight.
Yeah.
Like they fought every step of the way. Vanderbilt, they were down 21 at one point. I think they
Yeah.
fought. Like that's kind of what they do. They fight, and that's what I've loved about the Napier coach team so far is they're not laying down for anybody. No matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
They laid down against Oregon State.
I agree. Offensively,
I like how we both looked at the comments just
yeah.
then.
Sorry. The Jake Kennedy had a question on there. The kid that went viral. I don't know the guy's name.
Princely, blah blah blah. Blah
Can't
blah.
say it. It's really, really long. I'm not
33.
Yeah, number 33. Did you? So what? I mean, thought on that? Like, do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, is it a terrible look? Probably.
It is a terrible look.
It's a terrible look. Probably it is.
It's a disgusting look.
It's a bad look,
His comment was that he'd been on the field for a long time.
and he has. He had.
It was 10-0.
He played almost every play.
It was 10-0 though. It wasn't the fourth quarter. It wasn't the second half.
Okay, but
He could have been gassed on a long drive, and so then like what I urge, they're not listening. Get a cramp, fall down, get checked out.
100%.
If you're tapping your helmet and your coach says no, fall down. If that's the most that you can give, your team played with 10. Can't
Because
do
they
that.
did. Because they did play with 10.
Yeah, you cannot do that. You cannot do that.
And again, that goes back to effort.
Yeah,
Like the effort
find a
wasn't there.
freaking way. I find it hard
Because
to
on
believe.
that same play, if you look just to the right, there wasn't much effort being given there either.
I find it hard to believe, Joey, that if we ask you to rush the passer on play 10 of 10 out of a drive, that you give us that kind of effort.
No.
I don't
not.
know that I've ever coached a kid that gives that kind of effort. If they can't go to that point of can't go, they're coming out. And if he was like doing like this, like, hey, get me out, coach, like the universal sign for sub me.
Right.
And the coach is like, nope, stay, because I've done that before.
Yeah.
I've had a kid tap, and I'm like, no, nah,
now.
don't see it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then fall down and grab your calf and get a break and get a play
Because you're going to get a
off.
play then.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, then you have to come out.
Yeah.
It just was a bad look.
No,
And-
the overall perception, the overall look was abysmal on that.
And
play.
the thing too with him is it's unfortunate because he doesn't normally do that.
No, yeah, exactly. He's a high motor guy.
Yeah.
He plays hard
But it sucks for him. I kind of tend to believe him because
because he does normally play hard.
right, and he probably was gassed.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be gassed in the second quarter. 10-0.
Probably not to that extent. Right?
Not to where we can't go. I mean, like he literally could not go. But
From the looks of it, yes.
yes, the offense, I don't understand why all of a sudden they couldn't run block.
Because there's no threat of a passing game. You don't have to play the passing lanes.
Maybe I didn't feel like Oregon State was selling out to stop the run like all the time, and maybe they were. I wasn't really looking for that. I just know that any time they turned around, they hand the ball off to 2 or 7, they were getting hit in the backfield.
Right. Well, the other thing that hurts is Osiris Torrance.
Yeah.
Is apparently a lot better than people want to give him credit for. Cause,
No, he's a high draft pick guy.
no, he's a first rounder.
Yeah.
He's a first rounder, but he obviously makes a huge difference.
That's
And
crazy.
I don't know
a hell
if
of a
timing.
drop-off.
I don't know if timing or I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah,
Why does it look so bad? Because I don't know. It was bad though.
It was. Because I thought that they would be. I took Oregon State to cover the 9.5, I guess, whatever it was.
So did I.
And I felt pretty safe with
It
that.
actually got down to 7.5. Right
I
before the
know.
game. The
Before
steam was crazy. I
The
didn't
kickoff,
understand.
I got pissed off because I'm like, damn it, there's 2 points. Like what? I almost went and hit it again, but I was like, nope, they know something. Like,
Right, because usually line movement means
Yeah.
money, means wins.
yeah,
Sometimes that steam goes the other
it
way.
went the other way, heavy. I was just disappointing. As a Gator fan, I think he just have to be disappointed with that. It sucks that's sour in the season on that.
100%. Like I said, I don't care. I shouldn't say this, but I don't care about the wins or the losses or whatever in that scenario. But the lack of effort was just disheartening.
Yeah.
It was disheartening.
Yep, I agree.
I read where Paul Feinbaum, that's his name, right?
That's him.
Feinbaum. He said that he is giving Napier an F for his first year as a head coach. Now, I think it's a little harsh. I would say a C personally. I mean, he's doing the best
I don't
he
think
can.
it. Yeah, I
He's
think
doing the best he can with what he's got to work with. I just watched rebuild happen. I know how slow and painful it is. So I think a C, and maybe even higher than that. Joey, now that you've watched them play in 12, 13 games now, what would be your grade for the season?
I want Chris to go first on this.
Okay.
You don't have to give an explanation. Just tell me what the truthful answer to what you think his grade would be after season 1.
First of all, I think Paul Feinbaum is a blowhard, and he wants
Attention.
what we just gave him, which I'm fine with the question. It's a very good question. I think C may be too high. I mean, a losing season, what, 6 and 7?
Yeah.
I don't know, C minus because I'm a coach guy. So like a low C, 71, 72. Where are you at?
Based on the season alone and how, because all we can do is base it on what we saw and then what we know today, early signing day. I'm going to go, I'm going to go D plus to C minus, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
I just think that the middle 8 minutes of each half, or of the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half was just really bad. I thought clock management was bad more often than it was good. That's a problem. Very few adjustments, I thought, but I don't think that matters as much as it does where you go from here. Like, what changes do you make going forward? I think is way more important than what you just did. I think you have to learn from what just happened and then go from there. And if you do that, if he does the things that, whatever he evaluates, whatever he looks back on, he's like, okay, I could have done this, and this better. If he makes those changes, then I'm good with it. Then, because if you make a mistake and you didn't learn from it, then what the hell was the point in the mistake, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So if you're learning from mistakes, I'm cool with it. He is a first year in the SEC head coach. He's coached at Louisiana, a little different, like the Sun Belt, the Fun Belt we call it. Love the Fun Belt. It's not the SEC. So you're gonna have to put your big boy britches on, figure out what you did wrong, figure out where you can get better, and then go from there. So over the next 8 months, I think it's way more important than the last 4 months.
I think what's concerning, like if I was a Gator fan, like what would be concerning to me is, I know you think, and you said this, Joey, and none of us will know until that time comes, but you said that you think they'll be better next year. I don't think the roster is going to be better next year. I really don't. I don't think you're better at quarterback. I know the Rashada kid is supposed to be good.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
You got well, okay, so we can talk about that. But I just don't think that the roster is going to be better next year. I mean, you lose the guard. I mean, I don't know, man. You lose Dexter, you lose Miller. You lose some pieces. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know that it's better. So is the coaching going to be so much better to make up for the lack of, or the ability? I'm with you. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is in year 1 and it is a new stage and a new season and a new ticket. But I don't know how many losses are like per se on him. So that's why I won't go like F or D. To me, to get an F or D, you have to way underachieve. And I know our season win totals were significantly higher. I actually have them right here. Were like significantly higher than where they got. So they did underachieve to an extent, and didn't really have any key injuries. Like 15 stayed healthy all year.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Healthy-ish, anyways.
Yeah, healthy enough. He started every game. So
a couple of things. Sherman said, I think they will play better. I think so. I don't know that they'll be a better team, but I think they'll have a better understanding of what they have to do coaching wise to going forward to compete better. If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
So like talent wise, I don't know that they're better per se, but ability, like intelligence, how to control a game, how to just play SEC football. I think coaching will be better. That's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, that's fine. I think to be determined. TBD. Like we'll find out.
Yeah.
TBD. We need to go ahead and probably get a read here. Somewhere.
Yeah, an ad read. We can do that. Let's go to Josh's barbershop because that cup right there is in front of you.
Shout out
to Josh and the missus.
Yes.
Christy, for the cool cup.
Really cool cup. We all got one.
Mine's in the house. It is not outside. I coughed in the what? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
I coughed all in the mic.
Yeah, you did.
Anyways,
that's not why
Josh's barbershop. Go see him. Best barber in town, guaranteed. A week ago, got it cut.
Yep.
Still feel fresh.
Yep.
Look fresh.
Thank you. Give him a call at 386-247-1430. Don't give him a call. Give him a text. Text him. He'll send you the schedule.
No doubt. Where do you want to go from here? Also, real quick, one more time. We got a bunch of people in here. Which I'm happy about. Hey, make sure we like. There it is. You knew where I was going. My guy knows. Subscribe, man. Subscribe. We gotta get to 100. Joey made a guarantee, and that makes me nervous.
I did get. I made a guarantee, but you'll see why.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
you're gonna announce that right now?
Yeah, boy. No, I'm not announcing it now because
Okay.
we don't have a final. But yeah,
you're right.
We got a guest coming soon. I will say that much.
It's a big one too.
We have a guest coming soon that I think the sitters will love tremendously.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That will be a good one.
We're gonna go bananas for this guy.
They'll go bananas for this guy. I can almost assure you. That's like
well done. Where are we going from here? Are we going Florida State preview, or are we going to go signing day?
Let's go signing day.
I love it. Let's go signing day.
Let's go signing day, and we'll start with Florida. Do you have that up? You were looking at it a second ago, so I
can,
yeah. Throw it up there. Hey, Joey, before we get in there, so there's can they see this?
Not yet.
Okay. What's your opinion on this? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I feel like I'm being a little bit of a jerk.
You're probably being a jerk.
I am a little bit.
Okay.
Napier's class was worse than Mullen's class. And the knock on Mullen was can't recruit, not good at it, didn't like to do it, didn't evaluate. But Napier's class is worse. Are you concerned?
No.
Tyler says yes, you are
Tyler says
concerned.
yes.
Okay.
I'm not concerned. And I'll tell you why I'm
Yes,
not concerned.
tell me why.
Because the average player is way better right now, like as far as like the numbers say. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So like the class average
Yep.
of this class is much higher. It's the highest class average we've had since 2010.
So it's worse because of the quantity.
The quantity.
Yeah,
But
I'm cool
the
with that.
quality I feel like is better
Okay.
quality.
I like that. That's
So-
a good answer.
So with that said, I do think is this up there yet or is this still not up there?
Up right now.
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up.
We'll talk over it.
Well, yeah, we can talk over it. Is this actually up?
Ooh, I don't know if it's actually up like in a good way. Let me look. Just keep talking.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll keep talking. We're trying to get you guys their commit list.
Yeah. So
Courtesy of Swamp 247.
right, they have 20 guys committed currently.
Yeah.
It's not committed, signed. 20 guys signed currently.
Signed. Yep.
Everybody, like I said earlier, everybody that was supposed to sign, signed. All good. Everything's good there. But like there's the quality of player on that list right there is much, much better than anything that we've had in the last 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so I think as he builds and gets better, and as we as Gators and whatever we get, our collective gets a little bit better, and our donors get a little bit better and more willing and all that fun stuff. I think that increases. I think it gets better. I think those numbers get better. Billy will be aggressive with the NIL. I think that'll be the difference, and I think he will be. I think he's. That was from Jake.
They haven't yet.
That's my fault.
They haven't yet, but they also haven't not yet. So
Let me
they
put
just
can
don't
we put
talk
a
about
bow?
it. They don't talk about it like John Ruiz talks about it. Like, does Florida State talk about it? Because from the outside looking in, Florida State doesn't use the NIL.
Yeah, but John Ruiz, they got like 3 5-stars, so they have something to talk about, my friend.
Can we put a bow on the last point about the recruiting?
They also
High school
pay a lot
recruiting.
more.
We're going to put a bow. High school recruiting, I think you make a great point. It's great context. I think people don't understand that you have a ranking, 1 through whatever, and then you have like a class average, which is like the total average of the player. To me, that's always been more important than the quantity of players. So that's really, really good context. I'm glad you brought that up. To the NIL thing.
Let me make one more point about
Okay.
Mullen's class. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You
Mullen's-
just did, though.
I know, but I didn't. I have to get this out. So Mullen's classes, John Sherman actually said it in the chat here. They didn't always fit needs. It was just players. So he got a lot of filler guys that he knew wouldn't qualify to make the class average look better.
I remember that.
And it happened. Like, now this is before transferring was even fun. Like the next year after his first class, like 7 of those guys weren't at the college because 3 of them didn't qualify. 1 of them didn't get a visa. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2 got kicked off and 1 just he transferred because of whatever. So that happened yearly.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was always filler guys in there that everybody knew were like, okay, that looks cute for our class ranking. So now we're a top 9 class. However, 4 of those guys aren't going to be here ever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case right now.
I think you're right. I'll agree with that. I'll co-sign
All
that.
right, now you can go ahead.
NIL side of it.
Yeah.
Who have you guys signed from? Because you right now Florida has lost like there's a site, Rolf, if you want to try and get to it. It's on 3. I'm gonna talk while you look for it. And then it has like a transfer portal, and you can look up a specific team and who they've had exit, who they've had come. I think Florida's at like 18, 17, 15.
At least 18.
That's a lot. How many have they brought in though?
Right now, not very many.
Okay, so you're saying they are working the channels right now. They just haven't signed any right now.
Well, Graham Mertz is one that they've got in, which isn't great. Don't love it, but
Nope,
don't
no,
hate it.
not
We'll
great.
talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, you can go all teams. There you go.
I know the Mitchell. I think it's Mitchell. Right?
Terahata Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is it great? Maybe, but
Yeah, he was the 55th ranked linebacker in the portal. Or actually, it's probably right up there. Right there, third one down, Joey. Where's his rank as far as linebackers are concerned? Yeah.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
That's way too far from me away.
Anyways, yes, but it's a need, right?
Right.
You have to replace Miller.
Have to have that. Only brought in 1 linebacker from Columbia High School in the 23 class.
I love that.
Which I love that for Jaden. I
Yeah.
do love that for Jaden.
It's great for him.
It is great for him. He has a chance to play early.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's a plus for him.
I just think right now, if you've lost 18, I feel like you have to supplement that with more than what you have right now.
100%
There's over 3,000 people in the portal. Somebody has to fit your mold.
And you only signed 20.
Yeah.
So there's a great number of players that you have to bring in at this point.
Right.
But it has to be sooner rather than later.
I agree.
And that's my only, not my only.
And that's my point, is the longer that they wait and they don't go get people, those guys are no longer there. Like not calling a tight end that they should have called and like not like it's that to me that's not being aggressive in the NIL game, in my opinion.
Speaking of which, Eric Gilbert has to be called.
Yeah, he's got some red flags, but for sure, yeah, you got to get that guy a call.
If you didn't call Jaheim, you have to call him.
Oh, yep.
I don't care.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't call Jaheim Bell. How do you not call Jaheim Bell?
I don't know. I'm glad they didn't because he ended up in Tallahassee.
I'm sure you are. You should be glad.
But like Florida State has signed 3 starting offensive linemen out of the portal so far, 2 starting tight ends out of the portal so far. To me, that's being aggressive in the portal.
In the portal, yes.
Yeah, and I think they're supplementing. Like they're not like the message isn't necessarily resonating with high school kids, but they are hitting to me and like kind of what you just said. They're hitting where they need to hit.
100%.
They needed a wide receiver. They go get a real wide receiver.
Right.
In the Hakeem Williams kid today. I don't know. We'll see. That's the cool thing about like coaching and new coaches, especially, is there's so much unknown. Like we don't know how Billy Napier is going to utilize it. One thing that I do know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, is that guy is as organized as they come.
He is.
He's very particular about how he does things, and so in his mind, he has a plan. I think Gator fans, at least it felt like it today on what I saw on social media, were a little uneasy with things.
I think today most Gator fans were okay. The last 2 weeks, it was a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah.
It was bad. The last 2 weeks were frustrating. Very frustrating to be a Gator fan. And to be on social media.
Yeah, and it was like it's mind-boggling to me that how many like head-to-head matchups they had with Miami.
Yeah,
and losing
a lot of them.
4 or 5 of them. 4 out of the 5.
Well, now it's kind of 3 because we don't know for sure what Cormani McLean's doing.
Well, we're gonna get to that. Cormani McLean, number 1 player in the country, number 1 corner in the country.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
You
You're
said
the producer.
something about how Napier is super organized.
Yeah,
feels like that's something that pays dividends in the long run, not the short term.
Yeah and no, except yes, but like the NIL, I don't think there is no long run there. It's like right now, like that's a new batch. Like you're not cultivating a relationship over 2 years with the kid by being organized and staying on top of it. That is like, hey, we're mercenaries. Like you player have a need, I coach team have a need. Like we can make this thing work together and we can both benefit. That has to be made in like quick, like really really quick. There's not time to build that relationship.
No, I mean, I agree to an extent. I think you still have to build the relationship, and then that happens with it. But
well, I think you have to finish second in the recruiting. Recruiting the kid, he has to go to, say, Georgia, and there's 2 hats on the table, Georgia and Florida, and he picks Georgia. Doesn't work out. Well, now I do have that relationship with that kid.
Yeah.
Then that, to me, that's where the relationship is created. It's not created when old Joe Blow hits his name in the portal. To my opinion, you have to sell. At that point, it's about sales. It's like you have to find needs.
No,
like,
I 100% agree with
you
that.
have to have a need of playing time. I have to have the ability to give you that.
Yeah.
We have to have the marriage of this thing, and then we can both be successful. And
Yeah.
Florida State's done. They've been better than anyone in the country, in my opinion, at like capitalizing on the portal and making it work for team and player.
Yeah, I think between them and Michigan, I think it's
Michigan's
been
right
really
there.
good at that too.
Yeah, Michigan has number 1.
Yeah, we see it more because, of course, Florida State is
State.
closer. Michigan is further away. So,
Yeah.
of course, we're gonna, and you care more about Florida State than Michigan, naturally.
Of course.
And so we see it better or more prevalent.
Can you go to the top 10 portal players, Tyler, and then we'll throw that up there because I just want to point something out. Also, to talk about teams, like team rankings or player rankings. The talk about like Florida being head to head with Miami, Joey. Miami, this is just for our sitters, this is a little nugget. Miami is literally, like right now, they're literally, dang, he's going to Ohio State? That's new. That's new. He wasn't posted. Can they see that?
They can in 32.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, so scroll down with me here. Keep going. So like that guy there, number 6, is probably going to be a Seminole. And then 7 is a Seminole. And if you go down, I think 10 is a Seminole. 10 is a Seminole. And then just outside of the top 10 is the tight end Morlock, or maybe he's a little further, I guess. Look at all these names in the freaking portal. Anyways, my point is Florida State has signed and was in good position to sign like 4 or 5 of the top 10 people in the portal.
Yeah.
It was more than that when Travis Hunter wasn't in there yet. I just think they're doing a really good job with that. But Miami is spending 3 times the average like going value of a player. So if you just set the number, if the guy's value is $500,000 in the NIL,
1.5.
They're paying 1.5.
Yeah.
The lineman that they just got from Bama, the Cohen kid, they paid literally 3 times more than any other offer the kid had.
That's where like I don't think that's sustainable. One,
At all, I agree.
1, because I just don't think it's sustainable. 2, because I know the staff. 3, I just you don't go there and expect to enjoy it.
So what
you're
about
literally going there for money?
What about the freaking locker room? Okay, because here's where I'm at, right? So they just paid 2 left tackles or 2 tackles, offensive tackles, both 5 stars. Okay, we know that that number that they got was north of $1 million, let's say, right? We know that at minimum. I know I feel very confident that it was more than $1 million. Okay, what about the starting left tackle that was on the roster? You mean this 18-year-old kid who's played high school football last year is making $1 million or more plus, and I'm making $75,000, and I started 13 games for you last year? No, like that won't work. Like long term, that's absurd. Like to me, it's absurd to say that's not good for a locker room. At the end of the day, the root of all evil is money.
Right.
So now we're throwing copious amounts of money, in Miami's case, like
100%.
times 3,
Yep.
at players who have done nothing
Ever.
and you have
Been good high school players.
You have people in your locker room who played that position, started for you at that position last year, and somebody's making 10 times them before they've ever gone through a workout, off-season meeting, anything.
Right. And that's
why it's not sustainable, in my opinion.
100% agree. And but that's why we both feel like Florida State's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Like with the current roster, with the NIL or with the transfer portal, guys that have done it in that setting are getting more than the guys that are in high school.
Absolutely.
And I'm A-okay with that. Like I've said this ad nauseum from the beginning. I think that high school kids getting paid out of high school is asinine. I think it's dumb. It makes zero sense to me. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Miami is doing that right now.
They are.
Miami, and listen, they may make me eat my words, and that's fine. I'm cool with it if they do. They won't, because I know that staff. I know Mario. I know Gaddis. I know Steele. I feel very confident in saying they will never be successful at a college football playoff contender. Maybe now that there's 12 teams, they might be on the fringe of that, maybe because they do have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But they'll never win one because they're not going to be coached well enough. People are going to get tired of that. Kids are going to get tired of that. When that money and those funds run out, when Life Wallet support says, bro, we're not going to do this anymore.
Well, the thing, yeah. I'm sorry,
like when that happens, what are you going to do then? Then the program goes from here to quick.
The billionaire that's funding it, right?
Right, John Ruiz.
You don't really get to be a billionaire by accident and by happen chance, right?
Right.
You're usually making smart decisions with your money.
Always, usually.
Right now, paying $20+ million a year a class is not a smart business strategy.
It can't be.
If it's smart, then it means you're getting a return on investment, which
is what he preaches on Twitter.
Yes, ROI. He talks about it all the time.
He does.
So what that means is, like, for example, we've said this before, I'll say it again. Some of these NIL contracts are structured that they will, whatever group or collective or whoever's giving you the money is going to get 10% of your NFL contract or 5% of your NFL contracts, all of them. Okay? So one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to get tired of spending in Miami in the manner that they're spending, or players in 3 or 4 years are going to get robbed blind because a businessman took advantage of an 18-year-old kid, and then the word will get out, and they'll say, whoa, no more. Or the locker room's going to freaking flip upside down and be like, why is so-and-so making 1 point? Jealousy is real, people.
Greed will imprison us all.
Yes, sir. So, but I think that not just Miami.
This isn't strictly for Miami. This is everywhere.
They're the ones right now doing it on that level, though.
Right.
Like, they're the ones taking it there, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, whatever. Like, it's not intended to be that.
So Ole Miss started this before it was NIL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they went from number one class, How you think that happened? You think Hugh Freeze is that good? Hugh Freeze started NIL before NIL was a thing.
Yep.
So and that's what Miami's doing right now. Okay, class. Oh, number 3 class. Like,
we'll see.
As
far as Florida State signing day, it was much of the same. It was except for one. The top-rated defensive player flipped to Auburn.
Saw that.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze. You just mentioned his name.
I did.
They had to make a splash. The kid's from Alabama. Does it suck? Absolutely. Like, whatever. But I told you, I don't really care about high school recruiting, especially if Jared Verse says in the next day or two that he's going to come back, then I really don't care. So I don't know that it's going to happen, but boring you, Brad?
No.
Oh, you heard that? Yeah. Like, it was almost like a sigh. Like, is this idiot going to ever shut up?
No, I need a deep breath.
You haven't spoken in a hot minute. How do you feel about all this?
I'm listening. Y'all are making some really good points.
Thank you, Brad. That's
I love
good.
when y'all are killing Miami. That was my favorite part of it. No, that was one of those things. I was listening. I was enjoying myself. I didn't realize that breath was going to be so deep.
Oh, it was. It was.
Please continue, Christopher. Please continue, Christopher.
No, I just think like Florida State's class, like it is what it is. It's okay. It's fine. I think if they do well enough in the portal and they hit like they have, and they've done a very, 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 very good job of retaining players that they probably had no business retaining. Like, well, they'll be okay. Like, they'll be okay. Like, they'll be just fine. I'm not like panicked at all. There were Seminole fans. The sky is falling. Florida State is 9-3, beat both of their rivals, signing 3 starting offensive linemen next year out of the portal. 3 though. 3.
Right.
There's only 5. 3. 2 starting tight ends. Like, we're good. Relax. It's okay. Like, one kid flipped. It was kind of inevitable for the first week or so, and there was no signing day that could have been worse than last year. So it didn't matter. No matter what happened, Travis Hunter, the number one player in the country, wasn't going to flip.
Right.
Yeah.
There was never a point where that was an option.
Yeah. So cool. Like whatever. Yeah. Keldrick Falk decommits, goes to Auburn. Auburn had to make a splash. Like transition class, they threw some money at the problem. Kids from there, whatever. Good for the kid.
No, and then
do what's
like
best
you
for
said,
him.
they had to do that.
Yeah, they had to.
They had to find somebody to make that splash.
And that kid's right down the road. Like,
First year transition class, you always have to find that splash. Like there has to be a splash somewhere, somehow.
and that was the one.
And that was the one.
He had been being recruited for 3 to 4 years. Florida State did nothing wrong.
Right.
It's just like the Travis Hunter situation, in my opinion.
Nothing you could do. It was just
Yeah,
going to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. A couple of comments from earlier. Eric Brooks, so you're good. I got it. Eric Brooks asked about where Cormani McLean goes. What do you think?
Speaking of number one player decommitting or not signing, dude, I gotta think Colorado.
I mean, I think it's Colorado or Bama. I don't think it's even a question. It's
He's
one of those
crystal
two.
balled to Colorado. Like so, somebody with some type of knowledge has got him predicted to go to. That's not accurate. I mean, it is accurate. I know what we're reading, but yeah, he's not going to either one of those schools.
No, I think if you're Prime, if you're Dion,
Yeah.
and you know Travis Hunter's coming. Let's just pretend he does. You know Travis Hunter's coming. It's a fun phone call to make, right? It's a fun phone call to make to the number 2 player in the nation, number 1 cornerback in the nation.
Yeah.
To say, hey, if you come here, you're going to be starting opposite of Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
We're going to have the number 1 cornerback in the nation in back-to-back classes starting at corner here at Colorado. That's got to be a little bit. And we'll also find you some money. Don't worry about that.
Oh, Barstool's got that covered.
I'm Deion Sanders. I'll find you money.
Yeah.
I ain't hard to find.
I ain't hard to find.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an intriguing – and I feel pretty positive that's probably what happened. And that's why he said, yeah, I'm not going to sign today. Thanks, though.
Yeah. Well, Dion called our highest recruit, 17th ranked player in the country. Hakeem Williams is a freakazoid wide receiver. We're really excited about him.
Should be.
But he said straight up, he didn't basically already send him my letter of intent. I ain't no Travis Hunter over here.
Yeah.
I love it. He became my favorite freaking commit right then.
Because he's committed. Because he's got the paper in. It's not that he's committed anymore.
Yeah.
LOI is in.
Yeah,
you're done now.
Loyal,
Nothing you can do.
Loyal, no.
Also, your dad said, Marty, I'll call him Marty, not just your dad. Marty said it's football, a team sport. And I think that what he's referring to is the NIL and getting paid and the jealousy and all that. Like, and that's a real thing. Like, if I'm an offensive lineman and I'm getting paid $75,000 and the quarterback and the running back behind me that I'm doing all the work for are getting paid $2 million, yeah, I'm gonna be upset by that too. So there's layers to it, and it's already messy. It's going to get more messy before it gets less messy. So
It's the unintended consequences we talked about way before this ever happened. It's like this is not the end of it either. Like it's not done.
Right. It's not.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so glad to watch Miami squirm, though. I am so glad. Miami fans are real loud too.
I think that's my biggest gripe about the whole thing is, dude, I just watched you go 5-7 and get curb stomped 45-3 by Florida State.
Yeah. Why are you talking to me?
You got beat by 2 touchdowns to Middle Tennessee. Do you know what Middle Tennessee State is? Nobody does.
No. Get out of my mentions.
Blue Raiders.
Like
Get out of my face.
I'm tired of
What's a Blue Raider?
I don't know. Is that Mel Gibson? Braveheart? Didn't he have a blue face?
Solid
He
movie.
did. That's a great movie.
It's a great
by the way.
movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I hope that Florida State beats the brakes off of Miami next year. And then I hope believe it or not, I will be rooting for Florida to beat Miami in 2024. Where is that game?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Is it home or away? Because if it's home, then I may actually go. If it's away, I don't know where Miami will be renting their stadium from then, so no one knows where that game will even be. So home. I wonder who gets the first one. Tyler's going to tell us in just a second.
Tell it in just a second. He's a faster.
Where do you think, Brad? Have your answer ready, Joey. Where does Cormani go?
Colorado.
Okay, Brad.
Colorado.
Really? All right. Well, he's going to Bama, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's at home for UF. I think I may go. Damn, that sucks. Fentrell Cypress, the number 2 player in the country, was kind of predicted to go to Florida State. He was on a visit. We're the only visit he took, and it's showing Ohio State now. That's weird. From what I know, he didn't even take a visit there. Maybe that's not right.
Hopefully it's not right for your sake. I want it to be right.
Yeah.
Also, Desmond Ricks coveted cornerback who reclassified to this year's class. Apparently, Alabama staff thinks very highly of that they have the upper hand in his recruitment. So
No longer LSU?
not according to people in the chat that have people that know people.
Okay.
So they think Bama.
Is that some heat? Some juice we got right there?
A little bit of juice.
Okay. Like
Also, juice says Cormani is not going to Alabama, so it's got to be Colorado.
Okay.
There you go.
Boulder.
Or he could stay at Miami.
He could, I guess. That would be a very change of
Ruiz could up the ante a little bit.
already times 3. He's gonna get pretty expensive.
It is what it is.
Yep. Brad, what we got next? We got an ad read first, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's do an
have
ad read.
Let's talk about Brian Sports, as we were just talking about the Gators. They are the best sporting goods store in the state. Not just like city, the state.
Boom.
Go see them. They can do jerseys, shirts, anything you need. Brian Dix has. Go see that guy. Mention the front porch. Get your 10% off.
That's right.
And talk to him. He's a great guy. Outstanding guy.
I co-signed all of that. I got to hang out with him all weekend.
Yeah.
So last week I got to see all 4 of our sponsors.
Yep.
Country Club at Lake City, Josh, John, and Brian. I got to hang out with Brian all weekend. Like I said, great time. Definitely. Yeah. Brian is definitely a cheater. He hit a ball on the interstate in Jacksonville at Top Golf, right? Ball goes onto the interstate, hits a car, comes back over the net somehow, and goes into the hole. Beats Tyler by like 33 because it was like a 60-yard shot or a 60-point shot. It was the most amazing. Like, we watched the ball go off the net. This is dead serious. We watched the ball go off the net, hits the net. We stopped watching. We're changing clubs.
He congratulated me. He shook my hand.
Shakes Tyler's hand. We're moving on. It comes up. Congrats. 56-point shot.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. Anyways, give them a call, 755-0570. They'll hook you up, I promise. And if you mention the front porch, you'll get 10% off.
Yeah, shout out to JT Clark, friend of the show. He got married over the weekend. That's where we saw
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brian Dix. That was a ton of fun. Man,
That
was
wedding,
a lot of fun.
first of all, the wedding was beautiful.
Yeah, that
number
was
one.
cool.
And number 2, I had a blast.
Yeah,
I
me
actually,
too.
all weekend long, I had a freaking blast. It was a good time.
Me too.
St. Augustine's a beautiful place, by the way.
Yeah.
Love that place.
Highly recommend that.
Highly
that
recommend
place.
St. Augustine.
Brad, what we got next, man?
Florida State. They have a bowl game themselves. The 9-3 Seminoles are going to be playing the 6-6
Yep.
Oklahoma Sooners. I was trying to remember where they were. I'm like Joey said, maybe we should have reversed those games a little bit, but it'd be a fun game. I'm glad to be playing Oklahoma, and should be a fun one. I think we win.
Wow, hard hitting analysis.
I think we
Like, that's what you come here for. Sitters, like, listen here, man. Like, there's a lot of shows and a lot of things you can do with your time, but you come here for that. Like, that's what you come here for.
You come in here for no comma, no pause, and yeah, Oklahoma as soon as they can win. That's it. I love it. Big fan. Chris,
Yes, sir.
I think we all 3 think they win, right?
I think they win. Yeah, I think they win.
Is anybody out? Is anybody not playing?
As far as I know, they're all participating, like 100% participation.
That reminds me of other things that we need to talk about.
Okay. And the flip side of that is Oklahoma is not at 100% participation.
Yeah.
I believe both offensive tackles are not playing.
Yeah.
Which is problematic off a 6-6 team. Here's what I will say. Here's where the cause for concern comes from. I don't know what Brent Venables will have cooked up. Like, he's good at what he does, especially when he has time. Yeah, he's played Florida State a lot. Very good point, Tyler. He's familiar from Clemson. He's familiar with Florida State. He'll have something. Like, they'll have to make an adjustment. He'll have something.
It's cool that we're having a 100% participation, I think. I sent Chris a meme, and it was like Mike Norvell to the whole team. He's like, hey, guys, let's run it back. And the whole team's just like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
That's what.
Yeah, that's the meme you sent me. I didn't know if you were gonna edit that or if you were just gonna let that roll.
That's why we like Bradford right
6
there.
minutes in.
Yeah. What do you think, Joey?
Of the game itself?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think Florida State, I think they're just better
I think so.
right now. I do. I think they're just better right now. I think everybody playing is a significant help or whatever you want to call it. I just think they're better. So I think they win. I don't know. I just think, like we talked about earlier with effort, I think we get all of their effort.
Yeah, they're going to play hard.
Yeah, they're going to play hard. They're going to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
They're going to enjoy the situation.
Yep.
And anytime you're enjoying it, you're going to play better. And that I think they roll personally. But
yeah, I'm excited to be in the bowl game again. Be 9-3, a chance to go win 10 games. Depending on how you close, potentially top 10 team preseason next year. Depending on what happens and who stays and who goes, maybe even crack a little bit higher. So, good place to be right now.
It doesn't hurt that Oklahoma's offense is anemic too.
Yeah, I'm not going to jinx them into playing well.
Touche. They're really good. Anyways.
Anything else, Joey? Anything else in the comments we need to talk about? You said there was something you want to talk about.
Well, yeah, Jake Kennedy actually brought it up. Thoughts on Will, what's his last name? Oh, my God.
Will you stop stuttering?
Yeah, I couldn't remember his last name. What's his last name? Will Anderson. Jeez. Will Anderson and Bryce Young playing in the bowl game.
I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Jamie
is
Robinson.
Is that a culture thing or is that a...
I think, honest to God, I'd like to attribute it to culture. I think it's a player thing. Okay. And I think it may have something to do with culture, but I don't think it's 100% culture. Like, for example, I don't listen to those interviews of those guys. But I do, like Jamie Robinson could have not played. He said, I'm a football player. Like I like to play football. Yes, right. I want to improve my draft stock, but I love the game of football. I love my teammates. I love the university. Whether he means all that, I don't know. He said it.
Right.
But I think it's an individual thing. Like me, I'm probably going to play the ball game too if I was in that situation. But I do know people. I do know people that I firmly believe probably wouldn't play.
Yeah.
I don't know they love the game like that. They're trying to get the check or whatever, and that's fine. They're allowed to do that too. I don't respect them as much as I respect the one that says, "I love my teammates. I love this university. I love football. I'm a football guy. That's why I came here." That was his quote, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the same thing with Will Anderson and Bryce Young. Like
I agree.
They both said in their pressers, and I came here to with my teammates. One.
Yep.
I came here to do a job. And
Yep.
I'm going to finish that. I'm going to finish it with my teammates. I'm going to finish this year with my teammates. It's not where we want to be, but it is where we are.
It's refreshing.
And so that's what we're going to do. And both of those guys, like Will Anderson's probably a top 3 pick, not just top 5.
Yeah.
He may be the first overall pick in the draft. So there's nowhere else for his stock to go. He doesn't have to do that.
Correct.
But I think it says a lot about who he is, and I think it says a lot about the leadership in that locker room.
I think there's something to be. I think for me first, I'm on the individual. Like
Right.
I'm on the individual of
Well,
that.
I also think the leadership in that locker room is Will Anderson and probably Bryce Young.
Right.
So
Yeah. So I think that, but I do think culture plays a role. I do think
Yeah.
culture plays a role.
I think it has to in this scenario.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's fantastic for especially the two of them.
Yeah.
Like there's guys where I'm like, okay, whatever. You're not. What are you really? Like what are you really? Whatever. But those two, like everybody knows who they are and what they're doing and where they're going to be. So
Right, and how close they are to that goal.
right,
Like they're like if they don't play, they're straight.
they're still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good question. Any other questions in the chat that we haven't hit? That if you got a question and you haven't typed it out, go ahead and hit us with it. We have to talk about one more thing here.
Do we?
Yes.
What is it?
Country Club.
The Country Club at Lake City. We do have to talk
Yeah.
about the Country Club at Lake City. I actually, like I said, I was there last week. Course is still good. It's getting to that point where it's the winter's fixing to beat it down a touch, but it's still in good shape right now. So make sure you get out there before full winter is in effect. The kitchen is always open, so go there for the food. It's actually extremely good.
It is. It is really good.
I've been there a couple of times now.
I pride myself on my food takes.
You do?
Really good.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 probably.
Absolutely.
For golf course food, no doubt. It's not a whole lot better. Oh, it's in its own category now. I didn't say a steakhouse.
No, yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
But Tyler
exactly.
made me like I was crazy.
No, I don't eat the wraps, but I've heard the wraps are the best in Lake City. Period. I
wow.
don't care where you go, like best in Lake City.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Let's go.
I do know, in fact, Jonathan Olsch, friend of the show, goes there to just get the wrap. Doesn't care about everything else.
He don't even play golf.
Doesn't even play golf. I'm going to get the wrap, and then I'm leaving.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
bingo. 752-2266. Tell them the front porch sent you, just because.
Yep. Nothing happens.
Nah, but maybe if you do, maybe they'll think it does. And yeah, we don't have that agreement worked out with them, but Maybe we can get it worked out.
We'll talk. We'll work on it.
We'll have our people call their people.
New year, new me.
That's right.
We have a few questions in the chat now. Before we get those, I will say one thing. I was supposed to give credit to Chris for correctly predicting a fake punt during the Florida game.
Yes.
I forgot all about that.
God, we should have done
I just checked
that.
the show notes. Me and him were watching the game together, and as it happened, he's like, Brad, they're faking it right now. Well, yeah, literally seconds before, he's like, they're faking it right now. He's like, this is the perfect time to do it. And as he said it, and it went down exactly like he said it was going to. It was it was a coaching moment. It's kind of cool.
It just felt, I don't know, did you, Joe, you watched Sam, of course. Did you feel like, oh, God, like right here? They were in midfield. It was short distance.
Yep.
They had the sledgehammer, whatever the hell they call that guy, jackhammer, number 12.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, this is freaking power, right? It's over. I was like, they're faking this right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't as confident as you, but I mean, the feel, the situation.
The momentum was about to swing in Florida's favor. At least that's how I felt. And I was like, they can't really allow this to happen because this is how Florida can start rolling. Because then they start believing, and then I was like, oh, yeah, they're fixing to fake this right now, like right here. It's the perfect spot to do it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I felt, like I said, I wasn't as convinced as you were, but.
Cool. What are those questions, Brad? You want to read some of those questions?
Yeah, so Clayton said, if you're Seattle, do you roll with Geno and take Will Anderson or take the QB of the future in Bryce Young or Stroud?
Ooh, that is a good question. Not Stroud. I'm out on Stroud.
Give me Will Anderson.
I think I'm going Will Anderson too, especially where they play football. And the pass rusher they're going to run the freaking football. Yeah, give me Will Anderson. That's a good question though. Makes you think a little bit. Shout out, Dad. Thanks, Dad told us a good job, so that's cool.
I don't think Seattle's. Why would Seattle have the number one pick?
I don't know.
Houston has the number one pick. So I'm confused about
maybe he's saying those guys fall there.
Maybe if Will Anderson falls there, I don't think Will Anderson falls that far. I think
Seahawks have number 2 pick.
No.
Okay.
No.
3.
3.
He could fall to 3, potentially.
Oh, that is not outlandish. I still don't think Will Anderson goes to 3. I think he's either the 1 or 2 player off the board. And I think the Texans do go quarterback. I don't know if they go Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud though. Because I know one of the questions is who's the first quarterback off the board. I think probably Stroud because of his measurables. I think the height, weight, speed, size, arm strength combo probably wins out. Not me.
You may be right, but
I don't love. If we're being totally honest right now, I don't love any of the quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah, me either. Which is why AR-15 could go earlier than anyone thinks because of his measurables.
McShay had him at 11 this week. Like,
I wholeheartedly can see it. I've been beating this drum solo by myself.
No, you have.
Yeah, I think it's more likely than not that he goes first round. Somebody's going to take a chance on that guy. I promise you.
I mean, I agree with you, but it has to be somebody that has time to wait. Like a Seattle if you have Geno.
Oh, God almighty. If he goes 3, that would even exceed my
I don't know that he goes 3, but if they trade back to 10 or 11.
I would trade back. If Anderson's gone.
I was going to say, if Will Anderson's gone and maybe Jalen Carter. I mean, you could go with either one of those two and be fine.
I'd take those.
But if they go 1-2 and you're like, I don't really want to take a quarterback here. Let me drop back, get some extra picks. I could see that working.
I could too.
Yeah. Trey Lee asked, which team in college football has the best overall culture? I think easy answer for me is probably Alabama there.
No, not me. I can't say Alabama.
I'm. He said I'm going to say Clemson.
Dude, did you see what that guy said today?
Dude, no, I'm not talking about Dabo. I will not talk about Dabo.
No, but I don't think it's Alabama. I don't know. They had an astronomical amount of guys hit the portal too.
An astronomical. Give me Georgia.
Oh yeah, it's probably Georgia. Yeah, actually, no, I said it's probably Georgia. Okay, in each conference, let's go to the big 3.
Sure.
Georgia was my number 2.
Who's 1 for you? Bama.
Bama
Okay.
was 1
So SEC, Georgia. I'm Georgia. He's Bama.
Yeah.
Big 10. It ain't Ohio State.
It has to be Michigan.
Got to be Michigan. I was gonna say Michigan.
I agree with Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
ACC, Miami. Florida State. Florida State. Just this year.
Yeah. I think I would also say Florida State.
If you said over a 2-year span, I'd say no. Or 3-year span, hell no. But just this year, right now,
Clemson's got to be in that conversation though, bro.
Yeah,
As much as I dislike Dabo,
we clowned them.
Yeah, much as I dislike that situation, all about it. They're in the conversation for like culture and approach.
It probably is Clemson, but because I live here and I'm a Seminole fan, I'm saying Florida State. But like DJU, how he handled getting benched, that's a culture thing.
It is 100%.
We've a lot of people. Clemson's very good about letting you tour their facilities and campus and stuff like that.
Right.
And so we got a chance to do that. We took some kids up there. Shout out Marcus Strong, committed to Oklahoma.
Big fan of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. Happy for that kid.
Yeah, you should be.
Power 5 football player. But Clemson was like, talk to you next year, right?
Yep.
No,
No. We'll talk before next year.
Yeah, we'll talk to him before.
Oh my God, the dad joke was too soon. Merry Christmas, though. We love you, sitters. Appreciate all of your support. We literally could not do this show without y'all's support.
Yes. Merry Christmas. We appreciate it, Joey. You got anything?
Nope.
That's going to be it for tonight, sitters. This is Bradford Douglas, along with Joey Edge and Chris Martinez, with producer Ruff, and we are Front Porch Sitting. See you next time, sitters.